Call to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Orr.
Here.
Councilor Baker.
Here.
Councilor Villagrana.
Here.
Councilor Smith. Here. Councilor Upton.
Here.
Councilor Henniger.
Here.
Councilor Vendetti.
Here. Okay, everybody's here and accounted for. We need approval of the minutes of the regular meeting for November 16th, 2015.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes of November 16th, 2015. Second.
Okay, we have a first and second. Roll call.
Councilor Upton.
Aye.
Councilor Baker.
Aye.
Councilor Vendetti.
Aye.
Councilor Henniger.
Abstain.
Councilor Smith.
Aye.
Councilor Villagrana.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. Okay. I will move on to visitors, and the first visitors we have is Mr. Manford.
Manfred Bruder, 517 West 2nd. Got a couple things I want to talk about. First, just a little tree committee update. The tree planting that we had proposed for a few weeks ago did not go forth because of scheduling conflicts, but we're still getting the trees from Black Hills. It's just going to happen at a springtime date. Also, since that time, Wade has put in for the grant from CTC, and that'll give us the opportunity to sort of increase the war chest to address some of our tree issues. I talked with some local tree cutters, specifically Bill from ABM. They're starting to slow down from their busy season in the summer, and they said they'd be probably more available to take care of some of our tree needs that we have, since we don't have a current licensed arborist or a way to remove dangerous trees. It would be smart to respond to some of these trees before they fall on cars and streets and roads and things like that. So I'm going to urge that council definitely follow tree committee recommendations to start cutting down some of the trees, especially in the high traffic areas like on 2nd and 3rd Street, that we actually spend some of that money before we get into springtime windstorms. So what I came here primarily to talk about is some of the economic possibilities that were afforded to us by the voting in of Amendment 64. And I repeat, I am not talking about dispensaries of any way, shape, or form, or grow facilities. I think what's been largely overlooked is the possibilities that Amendment 64 provided us in the terms of industrial hemp. Okay, just to give you an idea how much money is involved in this, industrial hemp is a non-psychoactive hemp product, and it's used in a wide variety of industrial uses, from clothing to oils to animal feed. And it's actually a part of Fremont County's history. Brewster Lane had a Hemp for Victory garden during World War II to provide much needed fiber for the U.S. military. It was actually a mandate by the federal government to grow such material. And it's a $2 billion industry right now in the United States, and the vast majority of that product is imported. Now, since Amendment 64 allowed for the growing of industrial hemp, many of the counties east of Pueblo have started to do so in a test facility. That's how the state is licensing these industrial grow gardens at this time. And there's so much money behind it that Pueblo Economic Development Council recently announced, and I gave Mike the newspaper articles on this, there's a $130 million facility, which is the old Boeing plant in Pueblo, that is going to start processing the material that's provided by these farmers. I stood in council a year ago and I predicted this decorticating facility, whoever got in on it first, it was going to be big, big, big money. Probably bigger money than the recreational end of Amendment 64. To put this in perspective, all new economic development for 2015 in El Paso County, all of it combined was only worth $100 million. This single facility is worth $130 million. So with that in mind, I'm going to do a loose proposal here. This is based on our mayor's meeting, and Maury said, well, if you got such a great idea, Manfred, why don't you come up with a development plan? I'm going to be transparent here. I'm in no way, shape, or form associated with this industry. I have no personal desires to open up a facility or profit from it in any way. This is strictly informational because I think it might be a good fit for the county. So with that in mind, let's harvest hemp. That is my working title for this economic proposal, and I'm certainly not a professional in this field, so please excuse any of this which is lumpy. My interest in this really came from a CSU analysis from about 5-6 years ago where they knew this was an up-and-coming industry for Colorado. And it turned out Fremont County was rated the very best place to have industrial hemp grown because of the favorable climate, because of the soil, and also because of they actually have records on it that Fremont County was very successful in growing hemp in the past. And the beautiful part about implementing a hemp harvesting program is it takes care of our future problems in terms of water relationships. Okay, as you all know, Florence has a lot of water. A lot of that water is not being used, and we've attempted to move forward with Fremont Economic Development Council with personal efforts, etc., to bring some sort of industry or construction into here to use that water, because if we don't use that water, there's a strong chance in a number of years the state could take that water for us, which would severely cripple Florence's ability to ever grow in any significant direction. Agriculture, especially hemp, can take plenty of water, so it's a good way to use it and move forward with capabilities that we're not currently satisfying. So that water relationship, it could bring some revenue for the water department, which is going to be running deficits, as we all know, in the short term. And again, it maybe could help mitigate the threat from the state. So, based on all these wonderful things, I have recommended some council actions. I think the first thing that I suggest council should do is establish a workshop. And the reason is the community and the public needs to fully understand what this plant is about. This is very easily, painted with the wrong brush of, well, this is just like, the other types of the marijuana industry. And let's face it, it's very decisive. This community is not united behind that product at all, but maybe we can get behind industrial hemp because we're just growing an industrial plant. All right, this is not affecting, the psychological well-being of the people that are growing it. This is just providing economic opportunity. Secondly, so we have workshop number 1. Secondly, I'd like to recommend that we get FEDC involved in some sort of an agricultural analysis. All right, I believe that's basically how PEDC did it. Is they talked with their local agricultural people and said, hey, this is going to be a good fit for the county. Let's get the decorticating facility in here. I don't know what direction is going to work best for Fremont County, whether we'll just be growing if there's room for another decorticating facility. I obviously don't have that information. Third, I'd like to recommend after the analysis and the workshop that council consider reversing the moratorium currently in place on a testing facility. The reason being is all hemp and marijuana grown in Colorado under Amendment 64 must be tested. All right, so any agricultural activity that we have here, those products are going to have to be tested to make sure that it's below the THC threshold count. This is generally not an issue whatsoever because the strain that's used is very, very low, like 0.05. It's not psychoactive. However, it's part of our constitutional requirement to test that. Testing facilities are probably a good fit for this town because they don't involve large amounts of cash, so the banking situations with 64 still have not been resolved. But they don't handle a large amount of cash, and they handle a very, very small amount of material. It's basically just a lab facility. So there's not many of these testing facilities currently in place, but in my mind, especially with what's happening in Pueblo, if Florence allows one and we develop a hemp agricultural community here, that's just going to be a must. You're going to have that. And fourth, I'd like to suggest that we develop some sort of a special water district for agricultural use. A way that we could attract agricultural industry to this area. We have plenty of land. Is we take some of our water and we make it available at very favorable rates. This is no different than what we do with urban renewal districts. It's no different than what we do with new industry that we attempt to, lure into the county. We give them discounts and breaks so that they'll set up shop. So That's all I really had to say about it. If we do move forward with this, if council feels that this is a good direction for Florence, I will dedicate my efforts into the workshop process to bring in some specialists that really understand the industrial hemp process better than I do, and get them to speak to you in the community directly. So,
Okay. Any questions?
Councilman Upton, yes,
Can I back up to the tree?
absolutely.
You mentioned ABM, and, I was on
Yeah.
the tree committee several years ago, and there's a lot of dangerous trees identified then, and some of them are still standing, of course.
They are.
Now, when you mentioned ABM, are you looking like on a per tree basis or a contract to do a certain number?
Well, that
You'd
would.
probably cover it in the tree committee, but I'm
Yeah,
just curious.
that's something I would have to, discuss with them. Of course, that sort of thing would have to go out for bid, to other tree cutters. They seem to be the ones that have some time on their hands right now. But I think they would be available, and I don't want to speak for them, but based on my conversation, they would be available in either case, so, to take care of us. And they have fairly modern equipment, and they have a real big bucket truck, which is
I've used
required.
them several times.
Yeah, Bill does a good job, so he's, I use.
Back to the hemp thing, Manford. You're talking two operations. You're talking outdoor grows as far as growing the hemp.
Yeah, I believe all industrial hemp is grown
Yeah, I
outdoors.
think being grown outdoors.
Yeah.
And then, like in Pueblo, they have a processing plant.
It's a decorticating facility, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I imagine if, right now, from what I understand, I don't have direct evidence of this, but the decorticating facility has already satisfied its relationships with the growers to the point where they're not inviting new participation from other farms. So that's already $130 million worth of activity that's been, satisfied. Again, I don't have that as a fact. That's just what I've heard with a little bit of investigation that I've done. So there's a very strong chance that if we grow to some significant level, and this is a product that's much different than corn. You grow an acre of hemp and you're getting tons and tons of biomass off of that, and that biomass is not usable unless it's decorticated. And I imagine someone will step forward. A decorticating facility on a small scale starts at about 50,000. And of course, you can get bigger and bigger very quickly. So I imagine someone will step forward to provide that. The demand for the fiber and the products is overwhelming right now. $2 billion worth of imports that can be replaced with domestic production. It'll happen quickly.
It seemed like when we went through this issue before, and checked with Mr. Frederickson, that the hemp was a non-issue.
From a licensing point of view, it's an issue between either the grower or the seller and the state. I think the city may be involved in terms of needing to tweak our land use code and do some things like that in order to allow the growth or the sale of it. And I think Manford's right. In terms of test facilities, we placed a moratorium on test facilities within Florence, and that may be something that you want to take a look at as well.
And I really encourage council not to visit any other parts of Amendment 64 until we really give this a fair shake. And let's see what this can do for the community. Let's give it a year, and I think that'll just provide a good environment to see if this works for us. So, any other questions?
Any other questions from council? Nope.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
And you would help participate in these workshops?
I certainly will. And again, I'm not trying to claim to be an expert in either economic development or
But you're a
hemp
lot
industry.
further along than any of us are.
Yeah, but I will definitely do my best to provide, qualified people and qualified information, for the workshops. So that way, if you have professional questions, you can get the best in the business to help speak for you. I have no doubt they'll be more than happy to come talk to us down here because it is such an incredible economic opportunity. So, thank you.
Jennifer, thank you. Okay, is there any other visitors who would like to talk? Corey? Please come up and state your name and your address, please.
Corey Stone, Office Administrator, Florence Chamber of Commerce, 116 North Pikes Peak Street here in Florence, or Pikes Peak Avenue, I'm sorry, here in Florence. I want to take a minute and when I stood before y'all here at the last meeting, my nerves got the better of me, and I said some things that I shouldn't have said, especially to Councilman Villagrana. So I'm here to offer my humble apology to not only Councilman Villagrana, but the rest of council, Mayor Orr, Mr. Patterson, Ms. Lozano, and Ms. Dice, and Attorney Frederickson. Like I said some things that I shouldn't have. I spoke erroneously, and I'm just offering up my humble apologies to everybody. And I have been reprimanded at work as well because of the incident. And my dedication is to the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Florence. I grew up here. So I just want to see the Chamber and the city go in a positive direction and hopefully with a positive relationship on the outcome of this. So I'm just asking for everybody's forgiveness.
Well, thank you for that. Apology accepted. Anyone want to ask Corey any questions or anything? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Do I have any other visitors in the crowd that want to come up and speak? No? Then we'll move on to unfinished business. The 2016 budget. Number 1, Resolution 21-2015, leveling property. And that's going to be Mary. Is that you?
We don't read resolutions.
Do you want to talk about
Well,
it or
if
anything?
anybody the
Okay.
budget has been out for about a month and a half. If there's, not the only correction, or not correction, the changes to was adding the additional fund for after the property, the sales tax went over to streets. That has been really the only additional item that was put into the budget and changes made. So if there's any questions, I'd address them. If not,
Any questions? Okay,
One thing I do want to,
so there is a question from you.
well,
well, I have the latest property valuation that I received from the county as of about a week ago. So that is as well
the revenues went up.
for the property, the property.
And Mary, the budget that, as it sits right now, it's how much to the good or how much to the bad?
Right now, the general fund has, with revenues and expenditures coming out, about between $5,000 and $6,000 as the bottom line.
Go ahead.
And I do, I'm not bringing this up to tick off my bosses here, but I do know there was some discussion by at least one council member who wanted to, I just want to remind you all, as it sits right now, it's 500 for the chamber and 500 for the merchants. I'm not fighting to have that go one way or the other, but I know there was at least one who had said they thought they wanted to do something different. I'm telling you, it's left at that number right now, unless we hear something different from the 7 of you.
By when? Now?
Now,
That's what I thought he was going to say.
so it's up to you all.
Y'all.
You all. Y'all. I'm from Washington State.
That's Southern. Paul.
Since we do have this extra money, I would recommend very strongly that we go from $500 back to $1,000 to the chamber and to the merchants.
Do we have that extra?
We have the 5,000 to 6,000 right now.
So you're suggesting 1,000 to the chamber?
Yes, sir.
And 1,000 to the merchants?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So that would lower your, basically by $1,000, your bottom line.
Okay. I'm just gonna, can we put it to a vote? Or just get the general census?
Well, and during a regular meeting, you could put it to vote if you want, but I think you're going to end up passing the budget in just a minute, so you can decide if you don't
By a
like
show of
it.
hands? That'd
It's
be
your
right.
call. I mean, we gotta figure out what you want to,
Yeah,
Was
I
that gonna
but I need to.
is that gonna change the numbers in the resolution?
it would change the numbers in the resolution, so we'd have to modify those right now as we're sitting here.
I had trouble hearing Mary. You say there is money available to do that?
Right now, your general fund has about a $5,000 bottom line with revenues
So it
exceeding your
has.
expenditures.
Okay, so there's 5,000 to work with for whatever happens to come up.
So
But
you,
it would change.
to 4.
So it would be $1,000.
So what do I need to do a motion?
Someone would need to move to amend the appropriate resolution.
Well, and the numbers that should you choose to do this, on page 1, 2000, well, under resolution 21-2015, the second whereas, the $2,679,039 will become $2,680,039. Then on the next page, under general fund, same change, $2,680,039. Then on the next page, general fund, $2,680,039. Then under the ordinance, that one we don't have to change because you can change it on second reading next time around. That would be
Well-
amended your next time.
We're in second reading
Then
tonight.
I guess it would have to be changed to 85, general fund at 2,685,000.
Is this the proper way to do it, or should we?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
You have to do it.
You have to do a second reading of the ordinance tonight.
Well, let's find out if everybody's in favor before we go through all this brain damage.
You can do that.
It's probably best to figure that out.
Mr. Mayor, we heard from the chamber, I believe, requesting more money. Could we open it up to somebody in the audience from the merchants to see what they would have to say?
I think it was 500 for each.
Yeah, no,
That's what we
it's
have
changing
now.
to 1,000 each.
Well, we'd do it 1,000 each,
Yeah,
both of them.
Right, both of them.
but I don't think the merchants would probably turn it down, really.
Well,
to tell you the
probably
truth.
not, but I know there's somebody in the audience that is involved, that wanted to say something, and,
Well, but we're not in public hearing.
No, we're not.
okay, I was
This is
just
a legislative
asking.
This was
decision
just
of
a-
the body.
Okay.
Okay, so I need,
The final number that needs to be changed then would be the general fund is the same thing.
268,
2680039 from the, that
Are
was
you for sure?
so. Okay, so do they want to do it?
I'd say,
Just ask them to raise their hands if
yeah,
they want to do it.
all those in favor of doing it?
Aye.
Show of hands. It pretty well looks like it.
7, okay.
Okay, so look at these numbers.
So do we have to make a
Motion.
motion to that effect?
What you'll do is when the appropriate resolution comes before you, you'll
Need to,
you'll just want to amend that resolution and vote on the amended resolution.
Thank you.
but we need to amend the deal, Mary needs to,
Well,
where it shows the chamber's getting 1,000. and
Yeah, it has to go to
Richard's getting-
1,000 and 1,000. And then all these other numbers have to be changed to the
Right.
2,680,039,
Okay.
including the ordinance. First is the general fund on the ordinance. Okay, so resolution,
Is that okay with the chamber?
I'm sorry,
Would that be okay with the chamber?
to get an extra 500?
If that's what you guys can afford, yeah.
Okay.
We'll be happy with what you guys can give us.
Well, we got a pretty cheap city manager, but we'll work with it. Oh, did I say that out loud? Okay. No,
Okay, so we need to vote on resolution 21-15 and 22-15.
yeah. So let's go back to that, the resolution 21-2015. And Resolution 22-2015, summarizing revenues, expenditures, and adopting the 2016 budget as,
But let's take them one at a time.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
We can do
So you
that.
need a motion on these?
On the
Let's
first
do on the first
resolution.
one first.
First resolution, so make a motion to pass resolution number 21-2015 with the monetary changes
Of what?
of adding $1,000 to the operating expense to make it $2,680,039. And
That would be it for that
That's it.
resolution.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's
you
it.
don't have to change the second.
So that's the motion.
That's a motion.
Hey, I'm wordy.
Second?
We have a first and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. All
Well,
those,
Since this is the budget, let's get this on the
Roll.
record.
On the record.
see, I tried to do it your way, but
Well, but this is a
roll call. I tried to do it your way, but
Counselor Upton,
Aye.
Counselor Baker,
Aye.
Counselor Vendetti,
Aye.
Counselor Henniger,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Villagrana,
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
aye. All ayes.
Okay.
Okay, now let's move on to Resolution 22-2015, summarizing revenues and expenditures and adopting the 2016 budget.
I make a motion that we adopt resolution number 22, 2015, summarizing expenditures and revenues for each fund and adopting the budget for the city of Florence, Colorado for the calendar year beginning on the first day of January 2016 and ending on the last day of December 2016 with the amended statements of money.
Read it
So
out.
the general fund would be $2,680,039. Is that correct, Mary?
Correct,
Right.
So that would be the amendment.
as stated.
As stated.
Okay,
Second?
we have a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Villagrana,
Aye.
Counselor Baker,
Aye.
Counselor Vendetti,
Aye.
Counselor Henniger,
Aye.
Counselor Upton,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. That was tough.
Now we get to the ordinance.
This,
Second reading.
Yeah, this is second
Second
reading,
reading,
but
so-
since we have made so
Yeah,
many
some
changes
changes.
to it, my recommendation is that we read it on second reading.
okay, and that would be Dina.
So,
And this one's also going to be changed to that amended number of $2,680,039. Why is this one not changed to that?
Six-
Oh, okay, sorry, because revenues are greater than expenditures, I guess we leave that one as is. Sorry,
But we still need a reading on it.
yeah, still need to read it.
Ordinance number 8, 2015, an ordinance appropriating sums of money to the various funds and spending agencies in amount and for the purposes as set forth below for the city of Florence, Colorado for the 2016 budget year. Whereas the City Council of the City of Florence has adopted the annual budget in accordance with the local government budget law on December 7th, 2015. And whereas it is not only required by law, but also necessary to appropriate the revenue provided in the budget to and for the purposes described below, so as not to impair the operation of the City of Florence, Colorado. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Florence, Colorado, that the following sums are hereby appropriated from the revenues and available fund balances for each fund as follows. General Fund, $2,684,474. Water Fund, $6,053,860. Police Equipment Supplies, $120,670. Swimming Pool Fund, $99,140. Equipment Replacement Fund, $20. Conservation Trust Fund, $38,110. Capital Improvement and Acquisition Fund, $31,303. Community Projects Fund, $50. Perpetual Care Reserve Fund, $7,100. Cemetery Construction Fund, $6,645. Pool Parks and Recreation Fund, $1,000. Recreation Program Fund, $2,600. Capital Projects Funds, $902,744. Streets Improvement Projects, $172,733. Emergency Clause. The City Council hereby declares this ordinance to be necessary to the immediate preservation of the public health or safety in order to provide that the 2016 budget become funded effective beginning January 1st of 2016 budget year, and therefore this ordinance shall become effective upon its adoption. Introduced as a bill and read adopted on its first reading and ordered published in the city official newspaper on the second day of November 2015.
That was first reading, of course.
Published in full November 5th.
That's fine. The reason, again, for the emergency clause is if this went as a regular ordinance, it would not become effective until 30 days after publication tonight, which would be January 10th, and it needs to be effective January 1.
So that's what it's going to be.
Just make a motion to approve it as read.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2016 budget as read.
Okay.
second it.
That's ordinance 8, 2015.
It is.
Let's tell.
Right, it is. Okay.
Okay,
Discussion.
we have a first and a second discussion.
I don't understand, so maybe finance officer can tell me why the swimming pool fund and the pool park and recreation fund are separate. Doesn't that come from the same amount of money?
The swimming pool is its own enterprise fund, so it is set up as its own. If it's not fully, has not the revenues, then it comes from the pool, park, and recreation. What is left from the sales tax revenue from the prior years is sitting in the pool, park, and recreation fund.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we had a first and second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Baker?
Aye.
Counselor Smith?
Aye.
Counselor Vendetti?
Aye.
Counselor Henniger?
Aye.
Counselor Upton?
Aye.
Counselor Villagrana?
Aye.
Mayor Ord?
Aye. Okay, we took care of that one. Now we need to move on to the first reading of ordinance 10-2015, amending the fee schedule for transit merchants and push cart vendors. And Wade isn't here, so you want to take it?
Okay,
He's the one.
we discussed this, I think about a month ago, about modifying this. And essentially, instead of making this license the same price as for 6 months, the council directed us to make it for 1 year. So these fees that you see before you, the transient merchants per calendar, it's now per calendar year instead of for 6 months, but the fees are the same. And so we are asking that you approve that based on the direction we received last month. Any questions? We do need to read this one as well because it's an ordinance. Are you prepared to do that?
Wait, we have a question.
Oh, we have a question, okay.
No
Did you
question.
not?
I was going to make a motion.
Okay.
We need to read it first.
Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
Ordinance 10-2015, an ordinance amending the fee schedule for the transit merchants and push cart vendors. Whereas the City Council is desirous of amending Section 916-040 of the Florence Municipal Code governing license fees for the transit merchants and push cart vendors. Now therefore be it ordained by the Florence City Council as follows. Number 1, Section 916-040A is repealed and reenacted to provide as follows. 916-040 terms of license fees. A, those peddlers, solicitors, transit merchants, or pushcart vendors desiring to peddle, solicit, sell, or attempt to sell within the city shall make an application to the city clerk and, upon approval of said application, shall pay a fee pursuant to the following schedule. Peddlers per day, $25. Solicitors per day, $25. Transient merchants per calendar year, $150. Pushcart vendors per calendar year, $150. The fee for all days indicated on the application shall be payable in full upon approval of the application and shall be non-refundable. No license shall be entitled to license under this chapter unless the licensee exhibits the city clerk a current Colorado sales tax license and any other license required by law. The license, when issued, shall be valid for a number of consecutive days indicated on the application and approved by the city clerk, commencing with the time of issuance and expiring at the same time on the last day licensed. If upon expiration of the license, the licensee wishes to continue to conduct a licensed business in the city, the licensee may reapply for a new license subject to limitations of section 916-050. Introduced as an ordinance, passed on its first reading, assigned an ordinance number and ordered published in the Florence Citizen and the city's official newspaper on the 7th day of December 2015.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance number 10-2015 as read.
Okay.
Second?
We have a first and second. Any further discussion on this matter? Roll call, please.
Counselor Henniger?
Aye.
Counselor Baker?
Aye.
Counselor Vendetti?
Aye.
Counselor Upton?
Aye.
Counselor Smith?
Aye.
Counselor Villagrana?
Aye.
Mayor Ward?
Aye. Okay. That's done. Now we need to move on to the notice of the final payment for the Regional West Booster Pump Station and West Tank Improvements Project, including East Tank and East Tank roof improvements.
I'm Brandon Harris, Water Treatment Operator at the Florence Water Plant. I'm happy to report that everything is in working order. All leaks have been fixed, including the leaky valve that we were waiting on has been fixed. SCADA and everything is working well at the West Station, as it should. So I would suggest approving final payment.
You need a motion to do that. So I'm looking for my paper on that to know what to make a motion.
Well, that was handed out today.
The notice of final payment, as we talked a little bit in orientation, we've already had that whole packet. I sent out an email earlier, and I also have extra copies if anyone needs one. I can go grab another one.
In reading the motion, we should actually identify the four different things in detail, I think, and then the total amount of the $128,333.45. Is that correct?
Is that for just the West Booster Pump
That's
Station?
what I'm looking at.
I'll defer to Mr. Baker to make the motion,
Okay.
because I can't find it.
Well, I'll make a motion for the final payment of the Regional West Booster Pump Station and West Tank Improvement Projects, including the East Tank roof improvements and the South Reservoir improvements, Phase 1. Then we go down to request for the payment number 10 of $63,210 for the Regional West Booster Pump Station and the West Tank Improvement Project, Regional. The second request is for payment number 11, $34,665.85 for the East Tank Improvement Project, that is for the city. Item number 3, request for payment number 11 of $14,082.50 for the East Tank Roof Improvement Project, and that is the city. And then item number 4 is request for number 3, payment of $16,375.10 for the South Reservoir Improvements Phase 1 project, and that goes to the regional. To then We also are approving the checks total in the amount of $128,333.45 to Moltz Construction Incorporated. Now, anything else?
It looks like we got a worried look on Brian's face, so.
We're
Making sure it all adds up.
We're through our publication period, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Brendan, does that sound right to you?
Yes, sir.
That looks like the total.
All 4 issues are.
Second.
Yeah, we need a second after all
Second.
that. Charlotte's a second. Any further discussion on this matter? Okay, we have first and second. Dick, did you have something?
No, I didn't check emails.
It did. It came in an email today. Would you like to see it?
No, that's fine.
Counselor Baker?
Aye.
Counselor Henniger?
Aye.
Counselor Vendetti?
Aye.
Counselor Upton?
Aye.
Counselor Smith?
Aye.
Counselor Villagrana?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye. Okay. New business, the Florence Farmers Market Committee.
We want to point out that in the past, we would have had them speak during the visitors, but because this is really new business, we've tried to put them in the more appropriate spot, so sorry for making you wait, Joanne.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah,
Joanne Moore, 121 West Front Street in Florence here. And I'm representing the Florence Farmers Market. And I think you all got a letter in your packet. We just need your permission again this year to use the park.
Staff supports this.
And council,
We support it.
do I have any questions on this matter?
Any
Okay.
questions?
And everybody supports this?
We just need a motion to.
Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. Need a
We'll make a
motion?
motion to approve the farmer's market to use the Pioneer Park on Thursdays from June 2nd through October 13th for the farmer's market.
I second it.
We have a first and second.
We need,
amend that to have hours from 7 to...
Did you put, yeah, he just pointed out something. You know, it says on there, consider waiving any and all license fees that may be associated in sales of goods. So,
I don't know what license they've had in the...
is this how it's been in the past?
yes, they usually make a motion to let us use the park and waive all fees and then approve the hours and the days.
You're asking us to waive the fees, though, for usage of the park, not charging sales tax and that kind
Oh,
of
no,
thing.
no, I collect the sales tax and I file it every month. It's just that if we charge our vendors, this $25 fee, nobody will come. There won't be a farmer's market anymore.
So there's nothing different changed
No,
to
nothing
it.
has
It's
changed.
the
We just
same.
need it made
But
in
you
the
just
motion.
noted that in here.
Right, and that's been there
Okay.
before. It's been there
All right.
last year, too.
Okay, you just might want to mention that in your motion.
Okay, that the hours will be from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we will waive license fees for the park.
Okay? That sounds better.
Second it.
Okay, we have a first and second. No further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Counselor Upton?
Aye.
Counselor Smith?
Aye.
Counselor Henniger?
Aye.
Counselor Villagrana?
Aye.
Counselor Vendetti?
Aye.
Counselor Baker?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye. And we're glad to have you back because you do
Thank
such
you.
a great job.
Thank you.
We love the Florence Farmers Market is,
It's
Great
growing.
for this.
This is going to be our 9th year,
wow,
so it's going
it's
good.
great.
And we
And
were
this-
really, it was really nice that Sam thought of the signs for the park, and
Yeah,
then we
and they
took
look
it
so
from there and
great.
did it. They turned out really pretty. Yeah, they did, so thank you all very much.
And we need to get a plaque or something on the bottom of those signs that says dedicated by the farmers market, some little plaque or something saying.
Sure. I can make them up at the shop and give them to Sam.
Can we put that underneath the signs, dedicated by the farmers market?
Sure.
Okay,
We can do
I
that.
appreciate that.
Okay,
If
thank you
she
guys
makes them
very
up, you
much.
can put them up, right?
Yeah.
All right. That'll work. Thank you very much. Okay, next we need to set a public hearing, renewal of the liquor license, 3-2 license for Loaf and Jug, 506 East Main. Public hearing date is December 21st, 2015 at 7 p.m. Why are we doing all that?
You have to set those in advance each time, so just need a motion to approve that.
Okay.
Or to set that.
I'll make a motion to set a public hearing date for Loaf and Jug at 506 East Main Street for December 21st at 7 p.m.
Second.
We have first, second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Henniger?
Aye.
Counselor Baker?
Aye.
Counselor Villagrana?
Aye.
Counselor Smith?
Aye.
Counselor Upton?
Aye.
Counselor Vendetti?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye. Moving right along, we have the mayor's report. And I need to do an appointment of the Youth Advisory non-voting member to the Planning Commission. And did I not have a lot of people apply for this, or?
Well, I think Wade, basically Samantha Bobby worked for the city last year, volunteered for us, interned for us, did a tremendous job, and I'll just say this bluntly, Samantha, I don't know how many other high school kids can understand things and do things the way that Samantha did with planning operations, and Samantha just seems like the perfect person to put to that spot. She's very thoughtful, very intelligent, and really thinks things through and can contribute some things to the planning commission.
Should we have waste?
And you must be Samantha.
I have your college.
And you must be Samantha?
Yeah.
All right. I just need to know, Samantha, they didn't force you into this, did they? No. Okay. All right. Then, do you want to talk anything about it or anything? Wade, you want to say something in behalf?
Yeah, she helped me out last spring, and she did a great job.
Or introduce her a little bit and tell us about her?
Well,
that'd be great.
I wouldn't have enough time to do her resume at this age. It's pretty longer than mine, I think. But no, she actually, when we talked about the Preservation Commission that she's on, she said she heard about the planning commissions, that other youth appointment, and we changed the ordinance to allow this position, and then she applied for it. And we're going to start our master plan process. It's the perfect, but it's going to take about a year. It's a perfect time to have somebody like this on the commission
Great.
to help us.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Did you want to say anything, Samantha? No? I don't blame you. Well, as mayor, I'm going to appoint you to this committee. I don't know that it's a really well-paying job, but congratulations.
Okay.
And we'll put you on it and put you to work. Okay. Next, we have the city attorney.
I have.
What? Yeah, I'll get to them. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any formal report tonight. Are there questions of me? Okay. No executive session?
No, actually, we have
Okay.
2 executive session items.
All right. Well, not from me.
What'd we tell you about running his bill up?
Sorry. We need him for these.
Okay, I'm going to go to committee reports. Does anyone have any committee reports? Okay, how about department heads?
Oh, we have one.
We have committee report.
Okay, you have one? All right, good.
In my head. I represent the Historic Preservation Commission, and we met on November 17th at 6 p.m. We were